Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, let's talk about my reflections after going through the JP Tower and the Global Tower. And then I'll show a bit from the last floor of the JP Tower, floor 30. And then this room used to be filled with little guys and then Siren there in the back. But maybe 2-3 refreshes, and then finally I got rid of all the little guys, so it's just my party against Siren. And I brought a tank in Agrius. I brought a TP and AP breaker in Tyrrell. He's the kid in the shorts. And then I brought a couple of magic users, Ayaka and Mediana. They have Holy and Flare, so those can work. Also, Mediana has the limit break to imperil ice, and then Agrius can take advantage of that. And then I have a Christmas Ramada. She is a soldier with a Drain Force that can cut through defenses. And yeah, overall the JP Tower, that was pretty fun, pretty challenging. I think I waited a little bit too long, so the last few days I've been kind of worried if I could clear it in time. But 2-3 days left and I can clear it. And then I have a couple days left to go through the lower floors in order to get more materials. And then I can level up the water ring, which I can show you later. I'm probably going to skip on the EX stages this time around. It's just not in me to go through them. But same rewards, you know, 200 Vision Ore, like a Rainbow Shard, that kind of thing. But yeah, as we can see, Siren has crazy range, and she almost killed all of my guys, but she made them fall asleep. But I have Agrius here just running up to Siren, hoping to draw away the attacks. We'll use a Saint wall there, that's a 3x shield. And then here I'm just waiting for the sleep to wear off so I can use my guys. And then overall, from what I've heard of people going through the tower this time, some people said it was more difficult than the first beta tower, but I felt like it was easier, except for these last few floors. These are just difficult all over. But yeah, for my account and for my player skill level, which is low, it was just right for me. And then of course I got to make use of all of my URs and my MRs, and that was lots of fun. Okay, some nice damage there from Mediana's Limit Break. But yeah, from this time, they took the Crimson Saber, Rain's sword. They put that in the shop, and then you can buy that with materials that you get from climbing the tower. You can only ever have one Crimson Saber at a time, though, so you can't have two. I do like the sword. It's great for Rain, of course, but I think it could be good on any soldier. It also breaks defense, which is a crazy ability for a weapon to have, and then also plus 15 slash attack. So if you don't have like a plus 5 Golden Blade or a Rune Blade, then that would be the greatest bonus that you could get. But also I have a lot of soldiers, so if I use them all together, which doesn't happen too often, but yeah, I have like a Rune Blade and a Golden Blade, and then I can use a Rain Sword on the last guy, so it works out. And it looks cool. Alright, and then Flare from Mediana. Still, in some ways, the best magic spell in the game, but very high multiplier, non-elemental as well. So it doesn't chain, but it can go through elemental resistances. And there goes Siren. That was a long time coming. And then, as for the Global Tower, I just went to 15, and then I stopped there. I got Rain's Crimson Saber, and that was my main goal. I was very happy to see it on level 15. That's a change that I thought should have happened. But also, oh, there's my grade in JP, D-. Well, at least it's not F, so that's something. But again, the scorecard, the top one there is number of actions taken. Second is number of units KO'd. Third is times run away from battle to reset the battle. And then fourth there is number of times you've done the refresh. So 7 times. And then maybe half of those are for this last floor. But the Global Tower, besides moving the Crimson Saber down and floors, It was also nerfed in difficulty, at least the first 15 floors that I played. That kind of makes me happy and sad. It makes me sad because I wanted the tower to kick the ass of all the global players. But on the other hand, it would have been too hard, I think. You know, Gumi, they can look at everybody's accounts, and they can probably see the power levels of the global players, and probably overall was not as high as the JP players. So they made the right decision. They made the tower easier. Just as one example that I remember, there's one floor where it's like there's like an upper level and a lower level, and then there's like a skinny staircase connecting the two. In JP, half of your team starts on the upper and then half on the lower, and so you have to fight your way through all these guys in order so that they can meet each other. But in Global, they just put all your team together, and then they also made the number of enemies fewer, and they made them weaker, so yeah, that's a good example of the Global tower being nerfed. We'll see how difficult the deep dungeon is when it comes to Global. It wasn't that hard in JP, so they just might leave it the same. That might be a good idea for like a limited time dungeon. But the next time the tower comes around in Global, it'll be interesting to see if they do the full 30 floors, and see if they put the water ring still at that top level, but we'll see. Oh, and see if they nerf the difficulty again. But with getting the Crimson Saber in my Global account, I feel like I've kind of proven something to myself. Part of the reason why I started the Global account, one was to read the story. I don't think I care about the story anymore. I really should make a video about all the things that it's missing to make it really compelling. But another reason was to see like how doable the game would be as free-to-play. And then my conclusion is that after 3 months of free-to-play, I can, beat 99% of the content in-game. So I think I've proven, at least to myself, that the game is very doable as free-to-play. And so it'll be easier for me to recommend to players that are thinking of starting as free-to-play. And so, since I have proven that to myself, my motivation in my Global account has actually taken a nosedive. Another reason for that is because the only characters that I'm working on right now to level are like Mediana, Lucia, Gafgarion, and those are all characters that I already have in JP. And yeah, I didn't start this Global account to use the same characters in JP. And that's very much first world problems, I'm forced to work on Lucia and Mediana, the best characters in the game. But if I could pull like Rain or Victora or those other people that I don't use in JP, that would really make my motivation go up in Global. And yeah, a lot of people do complain about how long it takes to level up your guys, but that's really the meat and the potatoes of the game. If everybody you had was level 99, you might get bored of it. There is a small part of me that wants to just delete my Global account, because I have proven to myself that in 3 months I can beat 99% of the content in the game. But there are some things that make me want to hang on to it. I still want to do a level 99 review of Kiton and Jiza. And then, of course, I can hold out hope for pulling a Victora or Rain in the future. So yeah, that's only a small part in my brain that wants to delete the account. The greater part of me wants to keep going. But also, by the tower coming to Global, that's kind of a milestone for all players in the game. Because now we have had exposure to like all content types. So we have the raid, where you want to get guys together in multiplayer, make chains, and then take down the guy. We have PvP, where auto battle is like very strategic if you want to make it that way. And then we have the tower, which is the top PvE, which kind of teaches us the importance of having a variety of guys, and then paying attention to some types of attacks that maybe we haven't used a lot up to now, like Drain Force, or like the Ninja Anton skills, like movement skills, or poison, or stuff like that. And so now that Global players have had exposure to all these different types of game modes, and that I've made videos just to kind of teach the concepts that you need to keep in mind in order to take on all those different game modes, in a sense, I feel like my job is done here on YouTube. This might sound alarming at first, but I don't have any immediate plans to change how I play or how I do videos. But definitely I will stop making videos that explain the mechanics of the game, because I felt like I've done all that, and that all the information that people need is already out there in my channel. And so going forward, videos that I do will be like looking at the news, or doing character reviews, or like random arena runs, or like funky stuff, like if I want to talk about Sasayaki for 3 videos in a row. When I started, I had an idea of like being like kind of a niche content creator for this game. I wanted to be the guy that plays JP with a whale account that reads and speaks Japanese. I never had any intention of being the War of the Visions guy on YouTube. I figured, I'd get a head start, play JP, and then kind of give previews to people about how to play the game, how to think about the game. And then once Global started, some of the big boys like Clake or Howl would take over, and they would be the main War of the Visions guys. That hasn't really happened. They're still very committed to Brave Exvius, which is how it should be. That's how they built their channels. But I don't want to be the guy. Maybe if I were being paid to do this, I would do it, but I don't want this to be a job. I want it to stay fun and be a hobby. So I'm going to kind of shift my thinking towards that way. Okay, let's end this video by looking at the reward for climbing the tower in JP. This is the water ring. I have it leveled up to 40 out of 50, so these are not the max stats. But very interesting. It has a very high HP for an accessory that is not a Trustmaster, and then also a respectable attack and magic value. You could possibly use this instead of using a weapon or a staff or something. And then defense and spirit 6, that's fine. But with the stat stacking update that we got recently, all of these will count for more now. You won't get the full values on some of these, but these could be really nice. And then the bonus abilities, it will give you resistance to fire and water. That's really interesting. Yeah, we can see that there. That'll probably be a little bit higher at level 50. And then here, evade down 20. So you don't want to put this on somebody that you're trying to make an evade build for. But another interesting thing about this is that it can only be equipped by water units. So Zazan, Christmas Ramada, Miranda, Tyrrell, Irudira, Gurasida, and then some MRs and Rs. So that's kind of cool. And then probably future towers, they'll have different element rings, which again, only certain element units can equip. So that's kind of cool. First thing that comes to mind is I could put this on Miranda. I rarely build her for an evade build, so she can get a lot of benefit to her stats and resistances without too much negatives. Christmas Ramada, she would like this as well, because she uses Drain Force, so she wants as much HP as she can get. And so if I can get this HP up to, or close to max, that would be a nice tool for her. I might want to use that instead of a sword actually, because this will give her way more HP than any sword. Alright, so I still need some materials in order to get this to level 50, so I'll go through the lower floors of the tower and then make that happen. Okay, I think that will do it for this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.